arrivando, sì.
Signore, scusate, per favore.
Scusate.
Sindaco, di nuovo.
Ce l'ho fatta, non pensavo.
Come stai? Sì, mi ricordo, come no?
Sì.
Yeah, we have already.
Thank you.
Prego.
Ieri sera ti abbiamo in videoconferenza ieri. Adesso scatta lì. Ieri sera ti abbiamo visto a Palazzo.
Sono qua, facciamo una festa.
Tutto a posto. Buongiorno.
Presidente, buongiorno. Presidente.
Se ci accomodiamo, onorevole. Freue mich sehr. Wie geht es Ihnen?
Scusa.
Ich versuche es, aber wir haben einen Tag vorgesehen, den ganzen Tag hier.
Please, after the ceremony, please. Thank you very much.
Facciamo partire, dai. Fare gli adesso. Fare gli.
Ci stai tu?
seconda giornata dell'Unione Europea a Expo Milano 2015. Welcome to the European Union Day at Expo Milano 2015. Bienvenue à la Journée nationale de l'Union européenne à Expo Milano 2015.
Mr. President of the European Parliament, Madam High Representative, Under Secretary of State, authorities, ladies and gentlemen. It was going to be a much longer introduction of my speech because of this parterre de roi we have today. It's so long, the list of participants, that it's going to be really too long to mention all of you and the participants outside of the ribbon. It is a great honor for all of us, for Expo Milano 2015, for the Italian Republic, hosting this wonderful event, to welcome you today to celebrate our National Day. The National Day of us, citizens of Europe, of those who wholeheartedly support this ideal, as well as those who would rather have a different institutional structure of our Union. Allow me to leave aside the formality of my supposedly formal welcoming speech. Profiting of the absence of the representatives of the Bureau International des Expositions, for the first and last time, I will speak as a proud citizen of the country, of the Union we are celebrating today. Let me then express my most sincere pride to be entrusted with a welcome to our representatives, but also on behalf of all the people who gather here. You cannot see them, there are very many. Let me convey the joy of listening to two of the most beautiful national anthems and to voice our pride of being citizens of a union whose values and ideals are perfectly described by the Oslo Academy motives for the award of 2012, the Nobel Prize. The EU has been rewarded because of its contribution for over 6 decades of the advancement of peace, reconciliation, democracy, and human rights. Political motives aside, today we at Expo, we are proud because we will have the chance of enjoying one of the finest and most interesting among the 54 self-built pavilions, located right beside the Italian one, as a symbol of our proximity and collaboration. A pavilion where the thousands of visitors will get to know in a fascinating and pleasant way the story of two common Europeans. Do we have the translation? Do we need the translation being European Day? No. Okay, let's continue. I said it before, it's going to be informal today. Don't tell the beer that I'm too informal. So, a pleasant way, the story of two common Europeans, learning how the theme of Expo Milan 2015 could be actually achieved, the ambitious goal of providing concrete responses to the global challenge of how to ensure good, healthy, sufficient and sustainable nutrition for all humanity, while placing visitors at the center of a unique personal learning experience. The world is gathering at Expo in spite of all the difficulties and obstacles the organizers have been forced to surmount in these months. Congratulations, Mr. Sala, for what you achieved. Against all odds, Expo has achieved its first goal, to open on time, to offer since day one an amazing and enriching experience to the thousands of young and not so young visitors spending hours strolling around, fascinated by an endless series of architectural marvels, sounds, tastes, colors, shows of the most different origins. Here again, a point of connection between Expo and European Union. The beauty comes from a different variety of cultures, values, and tastes as well, mixed up to offer a fascinating final result. Expo is indeed a platform for debates about food security and sustainable development. the European Union has, in this context, a key role of guide and a pioneer in promoting the quality and safety of food products, ensuring environmental sustainability. But I would also like to go a bit beyond that, this indisputable fact. Expo, with its team, is offering not only food, delicious and tasty and original food, but above all, Milan is offering to the world food for thoughts. With its legacy of the Charter of Milan, which you, dear representatives of the European Union, Mr. President, Madam High Representative, and all the visitors, will have in this contest the possibility to look and eventually and hopefully to sign. The deep link between Expo goals and EU ideals have been expressed by the Parliament resolution of April the 30th, confirming this fruitful connection between the European institutions and the theme of the Universal Exhibition in Milan. So let me end this speech again on a personal tone and thanking all you people, and especially the representative of the European Union here, David, to have chosen the most beautiful way to present to the visitors your pavilion, choosing, for example, I don't know how many young volunteers being the best ambassadors of your pavilion, which is going to be another reason to visit. Thank you very much for having come. Thank you very much for all the honor you offer today and in the coming days. Thanks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dear High Representative, Secretary of State, dear colleagues of the European Parliament, Mayor of Milano, dear friends, this is a national day for the European Union. The national days are normally reserved for sovereign countries. I was told there are around 150 sovereign countries participating in this exhibition. The European Union is not a country. We are not a state. But we have a common anthem, and I must admit, as a German, it was in previous times always very emotional to listen to the national anthem of Italy, because especially in final matches of the World Championship, it was the announcement of a German defeat. Changed a little bit during the last years. We have two national anthems, you said, two of the most wonderful, and I must correct you. The European Union anthem is not the anthem of a state. But we are very grateful that we are treated with our pavilion, with the exhibition, the opening of this pavilion today and this ceremony here, that we are treated on equal footing with all the other participants, because the European Union is a unique and exceptional community of countries. We are not one, we are 28 countries and nations who decided to cooperate across borders in common institutions to stabilize peace, social justice, welfare, and a good perspective for the next generations. And this is the spirit of this exhibition. Yesterday, the 8th of May, 70 years ago, the world was liberated from the Hitler dictatorship. My country, Germany, like a lot of other countries, became free from terror, from extermination. And 5 years later, in 1950, we started a new dimension in Europe, the dimension of European unification. Nations who 5 years before fought against each other created a community of democratic countries which became, until today, the European Union, guaranteeing peace on our continent. One day after the 70th anniversary, a German in Italy is addressing a multinational assembly in a world exhibition. This is a good signal for all of us. I followed during the last 2 years intensively what happened here at this place. And allow me, and I present my excuses to all the other nations here when I speak about the Italians. The World Exhibition happens here in Milano, in Italy. And everybody who followed the last 10 days before the opening of the exhibition was involved in that discussion. Will they achieve? Will everything be fine at the opening? And my answer was yes, you can be sure. They are perhaps different than we are, the Germans, that's for sure. But they are as effective as we are with their Italian style, which is a wonderful one, and therefore to Italy, congratulations for what you achieved here. This exhibition here in Milano is an exhibition looking to the future, and that's what I want to invite all of us to look to the future. We have a terrible past. We overcame the atrocities and we have beaten and banned the demons of the 20th century. Hate, xenophobia, racism, anti-Semitism. But all these phenomena are existing. They are still alive. We have them under control, but they are still there. And if we want to avoid that all this can get back power in Europe, we have to look for a better future, not only for us in Europe, also taking into account that we are living in a world village. We are affected by whatever happens in another part of the world. And your country, Italy especially, is affected by the migration problems caused by civil wars, caused by hunger, caused by economic depression. And one of the biggest reasons for people to leave from their region is hunger, the unfair distribution of food in the world. And by the way, in our developed industrial societies, the waste of food is a shame. Therefore, to put this question of future of mankind in the center of all the exhibition here, the discussions, the presentations, is an intelligent, a meaningful, a future-oriented project for which, as a representative of the European Union, and I think Federica will underline it, we are very grateful. This is a decisive element for future. Food provide, food security, health, and water provide. These are decisive elements for peace in the world. We as Europeans, we achieved peace on our continent. Let's, with our instruments, contribute to assure peace in the world via our European cooperation. And nobody else is representing that spirit in a practical term every day better than our High Representative, Federica Mogherini, to which I pass the floor now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Martin. Mayor, authorities, friends, let me speak in Italian. Anche perché è veramente per me un'emozione, oltre che un piacere, essere qui oggi. Molti qui hanno ascoltato due magnifici inni, uno non nazionale, ma due magnifici inni. Per me sono i miei due inni ed è un'emozione essere qui oggi a celebrare la giornata dell'Europa aprendo il padiglione dell'Unione Europea Expo e ricordando quanto lavoro abbiamo fatto nell'anno passato, quando ricoprivo un altro incarico istituzionale, per arrivare qui. dal punto di vista personale anche una grande e bella soddisfazione. Vorrei ringraziare tutti coloro che hanno reso possibile questa meraviglia, a partire dai volontari che so hanno fatto l'alzabandiera per noi questa mattina, che vorrei ringraziare, tutto il lavoro che è stato fatto per rendere questo possibile e tutto il lavoro che continuerà ad essere fatto in questi prossimi 6 mesi per mettere al centro non soltanto del dibattito politico, ma della vita dei visitatori, dei milioni di visitatori di Expo, un tema fondamentale.
I decided to speak in Italian because for me today it's a very particular emotion. I'm very pleased to be here today for the opening of the European Union Pavilion. And I wanted to say that for me, the hymn of the Italian country, but also that of the European Union, those are my two hymns. And it's also a way for me to remember the work that we've done, and it's also a personal satisfaction. But first of all, I would like to thank all the persons who contributed to this expo, as well as the volunteers. So thank you for the work we've been doing in those, and that we will keep on doing in the 6 following months. And this will be also important for the life of all the visitors.
L'Unione Europea è nata esattamente questo stesso giorno di tanti anni fa dal mettere in comune un progetto, dal voltare pagina sulle macerie della Seconda Guerra Mondiale e decidere di condividere degli interessi, in particolare tra la Francia e la Germania, prendendoci le nostre responsabilità di europei, e da italiani sappiamo che ne abbiamo avute anche noi, e provando a dire sulla base di quella responsabilità storica è nostra responsabilità oggi costruire la pace, innanzitutto per i nostri popoli, innanzitutto sul nostro territorio, ma anche intorno a noi e nel mondo.
So the European Union was born the same day, many years ago, after a very terrible war. And so we have decided with a common project to share our own interest. And first of all, France and Germany decided to do it, but also Italy decided to take its own responsibilities. And now our responsibility is also to ensure peace all over the world, for our citizens and also for our territory.
Quella responsabilità che i nostri padri, i nostri nonni hanno preso 65 anni fa, voltando pagina, oggi dobbiamo riassumerla. Le nuove generazioni, insieme a quelle che conservano la memoria di quegli anni drammatici, perché le sfide che abbiamo di fronte come europei oggi non sono meno drammatiche, non sono meno pericolose, non soltanto per noi europei ma anche per tutte le altre persone del mondo. E oggi, Martin, vorrei ringraziarti per questo, per averlo ricordato, le sfide che abbiamo davanti non si chiamano più guerra sul territorio europeo, ma si chiamano fame, disperazione, guerra tutto intorno a noi. La nostra regione è quella che conosce il più alto livello di conflittualità nel mondo e diseguaglianza nell'accesso alle risorse. Questa oggi è la frontiera della sfida della pace e della sicurezza dell'Unione Europea. E questa è oggi la responsabilità che noi europei, tutti insieme, siamo chiamati a prendere, sapendo che aver costruito anni, decenni di prosperità e di stabilità sul nostro continente, anche se so molto bene che per molti europei non è così, significa non fermarsi qui. Il nostro compito oggi è quello innanzitutto di prenderci le nostre responsabilità e per me questo significa certamente cercare di portare stabilità e pace nel mondo, ma anche guardare all'interno dei nostri confini. Credo che il tema di Expo sia questo, un richiamo alla nostra responsabilità. Nutrire il pianeta significa innanzitutto guardare alle povertà e alle ineguaglianze che abbiamo dentro all'Europa, e ne abbiamo ancora troppe, e su questo credo che nell'ultimo anno in Europa abbiamo cambiato segno, finalmente abbiamo cambiato segno. Non è ancora sufficiente, ma abbiamo preso la strada giusta. La parola flessibilità non è più un tabù, la parola austerità non è più un mantra e credo che abbiamo tanto da fare per cambiare le nostre politiche economiche, per investire di più sconfiggere le disuguaglianze e le povertà all'interno dell'Europa, ma sconfiggere le disuguaglianze, le povertà e i conflitti tutto intorno a noi, nella nostra regione e nel mondo, a partire dal Nord Africa e a partire da un continente, quello africano, che non è soltanto sintomo di problemi, ma è anche un grande continente di speranza e di possibilità per il futuro.
It is, of course, the responsibility of our fathers and of our grandfathers who 65 years ago decided to change the world. And now we have to join together the new generations, but also the generations who remember that terrible period. And the challenges that we have to face today are still dangerous and are still very important. And I want to thank you, Martin, for remembering that the challenges we have to face now are hunger, war, and also desperation. We also have to face many different conflicts and also the difficult access to resources for some countries. So the challenge is peace, and this is part of the European Union responsibility. And we know that in our continent we've reached prosperity, but I also know that this is not the case for all the European citizens. So this is our responsibility. Our responsibility is stability, but also peace, that we have to bring also beyond our borders. So the theme of Expo 2015 is feeding the planet, but it also means to look at the poverty that we have in our world, to look at the inequalities, and we also have inequalities in Europe. And last year, I know that European Union has started to go on the right direction. Now, flexibility is no longer a taboo, and we still have a lot to do to change our economic policies and to invest more, but we also have to fight poverty and conflicts and inequalities. So we also have to take into account different regions, such as, in particular, North Africa, but also Africa itself, which I believe is a continent of hope and not only of problems.
Può sembrare che if you get the translation you get double applause. Può sembrare che parlare delle nostre politiche economiche europee non abbia molto a che fare con il ruolo dell'Unione Europea nel mondo. Invece è l'essenza del nostro ruolo nel mondo. Non potremo cambiare il paradigma dello sviluppo economico nel mondo, non potremo nutrire il pianeta se non ci facessimo delle domande e non ci dessimo anche delle risposte su come organizziamo le nostre politiche, su come le rendiamo coerenti, quelle di cooperazione allo sviluppo, quelle del commercio, quelle ambientali, alla fine dei conti le nostre politiche economiche, anche quelle interne. Allora io credo che Expo sia anche per l'Unione Europea una grandissima occasione, e deve esserlo, non soltanto per avere questo magnifico spettacolo. Voi non lo vedete perché siete seduti, ma da qui è una meraviglia vedere questo enorme flusso di persone, questo enorme schieramento di bandiere, le più diverse nel mondo. Non soltanto una vetrina, non soltanto una grandissima occasione di incontro, di confronto, di contaminazione, ma soprattutto deve essere un momento lungo 6 mesi e una legacy lunga molti anni per affrontare il vero tema dell'accesso alle risorse. Questo deve essere il nostro impegno, questa deve essere la nostra responsabilità. Io posso dire che l'Unione Europea è pronta a prendersi questa responsabilità non per buoni sentimenti, ma perché sappiamo che il nostro interesse storico di europei, così come 65 anni fa era costruire la pace e l'Europa unita, oggi è costruire un mondo più giusto, più equo, più capace di nutrire tutti i suoi cittadini. Grazie.
It might seem a bit strange to talk about the economic role of the European Union, but actually this is the essence of the role of the European Union, because we wouldn't be able to feed the planet if we wouldn't wonder about how to organize our policy, our trade policies, but also that of development and of environment. So I truly believe that Expo 2015 is a great occasion not only to see, and I see it from here, but you cannot see it because you are at the back, but of course there is a great flux of persons and many, many flags. So this is an occasion for meeting, for union, but also to think about this long event and to think about those 6 months and how to get access to resources. This is our commitment and our responsibility. And I believe that the European Union is ready to take this responsibility for the interest of the Europeans. And this is what the citizens did 65 years ago, and to find peace and to create a united Europe. But I believe that today we still have the responsibility to create a fairer world and to be able to feed the planet.
Siamo giunti alla fine della cerimonia istituzionale della giornata dell'Unione Europea a Expo Milano 2015. Grazie a tutti i partecipanti. We have come to the end of the institutional ceremony of European Union Day at Expo Milano 2015. Thanks to all participants. Nous voilà à la fin de la cérémonie officielle de la Journée nationale de l'Union européenne à Expo Milano 2015. Merci à tous les participants.